Welcome back and thank you for joining to Rabbi Stein's PPE. If you haven't done so already, drop a like, hit the subscribe button. We'd love to keep you coming with all these awesome videos and ideas on the Parsha and Tefillah. And again, thank you for joining. This week's Parsha, Parsha Vayishlach, is all about what's going to be the epic confrontation between Yaakov and Esav. And while it's so juicy to talk about what happens, how when Esav meets Yaakov and he gives him a hug and wants to really bite him in the neck, the Torah elaborates on this word Vayishikehu. I don't want to talk about that right now. There are so many people that expand upon that. But I actually thought about a very interesting duality. You see, when Yaakov and Esav last saw each other, Yaakov seemingly manipulated Esav. He convinced his father Yitzchak to get Esav's bracha fair and square, even though they made a whole deal, a transaction. Esav is saying it wasn't fair, shenanigans, whatever you want to call it, fair and square. Yaakov receives the bracha, Esav comes in and sees what happens, and Esav is absolutely livid. The next time I see Yaakov, he will surely be killed by me. Those were Esav's last words to Yaakov. They haven't seen each other for about over 21 years or so. And now comes the final showdown. So what happens? Yaakov hears that Esav is coming with 400 men. But what does Yaakov do? Yaakov understands that Esav is still known as Esav Achicha, Esav your brother. The Torah continuously repeats this terminology, Esav Achicha. And I think there's a very interesting connection between this idea and when Yosef and his brothers have a little rivalry. You see, when Yosef's brothers absolutely despise Yosef, what happens? They all go out to a place known as Shechem, and essentially Yaakov is going to send Yosef to go and inquire about his brothers. Yosef goes, and along the way he meets an angel, and he asks the angel, "Where are my brothers?" And he says, "They're no longer your brothers. The love that existed between you as brothers is no longer." So if we go back to our parsha, we see that Yaakov is referring to as Esav Achicha, Esav your brother. No matter how much manipulation took place, no matter how much deceit could have occurred, they're still brothers. There's still that sibling rival, that brotherly love. And what I think is so important to understand is that when, yes, people may wrong us, people may cheat us, people may do all kinds of unjust things, and we may want to hold a grudge or bear animosity towards that person. Step number one, never lose sight that there's a possibility they will always remain achicha. They will always remain family. They'll always be connected. Whether it's a Jewish person or a non-Jewish person, the fact that we're humans, humanity exists together for a certain reason. And we have to keep that in mind. And no matter how terrible someone could be, we always have to keep this in check. If we're always going to be the bigger person, they always say, be the bigger man, right? And we'll receive that bracha 100-fold because we do deserve of that. It's never good to stoop down to that same person's level, because when you do that, you're no different than they are. But if you're always a step ahead, a cut above, you'll always remain the chosen one. Thank you. Have a wonderful Shabbos, and see you next time.